This video is sponsored by Storyblocks.
Beautiful things don't ask for attention.
When are you gonna take it?
Sometimes I don't.
Take a look inside. A gift for all the years of hard work. Sorry about the neck roll. I spilled some blood on it while self-stitching a gun wound to my abdomen, but number 25 is my best ever. The quintessence of life, I think.
The script was so interesting and emotional when I read it. A lot of times I think we find ourselves living our lives thinking about the next thing or thinking about something that's, bothering us or problems that we have to deal with and lose touch with actually experiencing what's happening right in the moment.
Okay, well, I haven't really been anywhere noteworthy or mentionable.
Have you done anything noteworthy, mentionable?
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, to put it simply, is a film about daydreaming, about seeing where life might take you. It's about those moments that might just change everything. And the only thing in our way is the space between who we are and who we want to be, and the courage it takes to close that distance even just a little. Walter Mitty is the quintessence of pursuing life and a call to action to those who daydream and an homage to those who made it happen. Originally a 1939 short story by James Thurber, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a satirical glimpse into the mind of a nobody, someone who exists only briefly to everyone else as barely a coworker. The film beautifully captures the idea of the transformation of a person everyone can relate to into something more hopeful, about actually stepping into the life you've only ever imagined. I can tell this sounds overbearingly sentimental, but this film struck me as surprisingly motivational and heavily emotionally driven. I feel different after watching, and I feel it leads to an appreciation for the color, cinematography, and especially the theme of the film. So let's talk about why it's such an emotionally heavy film. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty was shot on 35mm film, which was a choice made to continue the aesthetic following its storyline of Walter Mitty attempting to find the lost 25th negative still for Life magazine to publish on their last issue. Most of the action sequences were shot on location in Greenland and Iceland and made possible by the practical effects of stunt doubles and cars with a lot of padding. It's a film that feels both emotionally and physically real. That's why we get to appreciate Walter Mitty as a character and what allows us to resonate with him so much. We learn what type of person he is. We see his awkwardness and his inability to send a wink to his work crush on eHarmony and come to realize he isn't too far off from where most of us find ourselves during our time alone. We see that in his youth he had some semblance of an identity of a person willing to get a mohawk and travel the world, but never did. Walter Mitty works at Life magazine as a negative asset manager, and it's funny to see how someone who works at Life seems to not really be living theirs. It almost feels like even he doesn't really know how to be himself, and those moments where Walter Mitty is himself, almost no one sees it. One of the first things you notice while watching is the use of color across the film. It's one of its strongest tools in conveying its theme, and at the start of the film, the palette is muted. Flat grays, cold blues, office whites. Walter's life is desaturated, and so is the world around him. The visuals mirror his internal state of a routine that is safe and emotionally dormant. But he doesn't stay there. And the film lets us know as Walter begins his journey, the color temperature shifts. In Greenland, we get sharp blues and icy whites, and as he travels further, there's more depth in his shadows, more contrast. The colors become warmer. Iceland gives us rolling green hills, sun-flared skies, and orange-lit roads. By the time he reaches the Himalayas, the visual tone feels alive. And the world doesn't just look different, it feels different. This visual transformation reflects something that's happening without a single line of exposition. Walter is waking up and accepting the call to action. And color is a large part of that story. One of the better scenes that captures this idea are the few frames of Walter Mitty running to work and going from his creative mind to his corporate job. We actually see this running sequence again, but this time passing by Life magazine covers. But let's give some attention to the cinematography of the film, which is able to take us from the daydream of Walter Mitty saving a dog to fighting his boss and flirting with his crush.
The ice, Jace. She moves like a woman.
to actually jumping out of a helicopter and fighting a shark, longboarding through Iceland towards an active volcano, and backpacking through the lows and highs of the Himalayas. Then there's Sean O'Connell. Walter Mitty has this strange relationship with an adventurous photographer, Sean O'Connell, who, to me at least, in the beginning of the film, is the exact opposite of Walter Mitty, someone who is willing to die in order to fully capture life. And maybe that's why this scene resonates with me.
Walter Mitty. Seriously. How the hell did you get up here?
It's quiet and still, and two opposites are together and no longer seem as different as when they were first introduced. And they're talking about a ghost cat.
They call the snow leopard the ghost cat. It never lets itself be seen.
They're looking at a snow leopard, or what Sean calls a ghost cat, and he decides to not take the photo. He doesn't break the moment for the sake of capturing it. Instead, he just watches. And I feel that decision is everything. For a film that appears to be about fantasy and daydreams, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is really about the silent moments, the time we spend watching, staying in a moment longer than we normally would. And when it comes to telling stories like that yourself, then having the right tools matters. That's why this video is partnered with Storyblocks. Storyblocks is a stock media subscription service offering unlimited downloads of diverse, high-quality media for one predictable price. Just choose a monthly or annual plan, and you'll get 4K and HD video, templates, music, sound effects, and more, all in one place. Streamline your workflow with thousands of pre-made video templates for After Effects, Premiere Pro, and DaVinci Resolve, easily adding motion graphics like overlays and logo reveals. And what sets Storyblocks apart is the authenticity of its restock collections, footage created by real artists capturing real stories and emotions that AI just can't. Get started today at storyblocks.com/Sophia or click the link in the description.
Do you have any cars available?
Yeah, we have a blue one and a red one.
I'll take the red one.
Life is weird, and I think it's the reason so many of us imagine a life that is perfect, a life that seems to only exist in our minds. And that's really the entire idea behind Walter Mitty. It's a tribute to ordinary people going out into the unknown and doing amazing things. And by the end of the film, you find yourself looking at plane tickets to Greenland and seeing how far away it really is to start doing the things you've only ever dreamed of. In the film, Life magazine has a motto that I feel represents the core of the film really well. To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other, and to feel. That is the purpose of life. And I think that's what we find in Walter Mitty. At least it's what we see. Someone who is able to adventure far out without losing themselves, and yet finding more of who they are. If you'd like to hear more episodes like this, consider checking out the Sophia Patreon at patreon.com/Sophia by Nico.